I want to talk a little bit today about the five internal elements. Everything that is within this physical realm was first produced or is first produced within your internal self or your internal realm. And these five elements are no different. Your five internal elements are air, water, earth, fire, and or love, mineral, spirit, or akasha. All the same things. But again, your fifth element, love, akasha, mineral, or spirit. Your first element is air, which is your thoughts. All things that are produced again in this physical realm was first a thought. To the buildings, to your car that you drive, to the seat that you're sitting in, to even your physical self was first an internal idea, a thought. Your second is your water. Your water element is your emotional self. You know, it's interesting they say that out of all the damage that can be, or the most damage that can be caused to a building, water can cause or create the most damage. And it's the same thing when it comes to yourself. When your emotional self or your water element is out of order or out of harmony with all of your other selves, it can create a lot of damage. It can create sadness. It can create sickness. It can even create depression, and even to the point where it goes and create those same things in other people's lives. Your third element is your earth. Now, it can be seen from the physical standpoint of things, but from the esoteric or from the spiritual realm, it is your desires. This is why it's a good thing to cleanse and fast and sustain, because when you do those things, it brings your physical being, your physical self, in line or in harmony with your other selves. Then, of course, you have your fourth element, which is your fire. Your fire is your soul. They say that the sun is actually your soul also, which is interesting because the Spanish word for sun is soul. They say that the soul is the seat of the heart, and it is from your heart is where your passions resonate. So your fourth element, again, is your fire. And then you have, again, your fifth element, which is love. Your fifth element, love, akasha, mineral, or spirit, is actually the energy that gives energy or gives power to your other four elements. That's kind of what the whole the whole movie of or the cartoon, most people know it as the cartoon, but The Last Airbender was talking about. When you use love and combine or utilize your love with your four elements or your other four elements, you produce some powerful shit in this realm. So your fifth element, love, akasha, mineral, spirit, is what gives energy to your other four elements. And an interesting thing too is that, again, because we're talking ultimately, what we're talking about here is magic. So since we're talking about magic or talking about your powers of creating, you can also use these five elements on your altar, for those who have altars. Your air element for your altar can be an incense. If you don't have any incense, you can use a feather. Because again, there is no right or wrong thing that you can utilize. This is your magic. This is your power. This is your energy. So pretty much you can use whatever it is that you choose to utilize that will represent these concepts or these elements. So for your air element, you can use an incense. If you don't have incense, you can use a feather or anything else that you might have an idea of to represent air. For your water element, that's pretty fucking simple. Put some water in a cup or a bowl. There's your water. For your earth element, you can utilize dirt. You can utilize some rocks. You can utilize some grass. You can utilize some tree bark. Hell, if you have stones or crystals, you can utilize those as well. Because again, there is no right or wrong. It's whatever it is that you choose to utilize to represent your earth element for your magic, for your power, for your creativity. Imagination is key. Remember that. Imagination is key. For your fire element, if you have a candle, of course, you can utilize a candle. If you don't have any candles, if you have a lighter, place your lighter on your altar. Place a match on the altar. Both a match and a lighter represent fire, do they not? Absolutely. Some people might trip on that and say, oh, that's it. No. If all you have is a lighter or a fucking match, use either one. Because again, there is no right or wrong. If you don't have a match or a goddamn lighter, draw a picture of some fire. Because again, it is you. It is your power. It is your magic. So if you don't have any of those things and you choose to just draw a picture of some fire, then so be it. It is what it is in your world. Then, of course, for your fifth element, what I usually utilize for my fifth element of love or akasha, I usually utilize a black stone or something black. Because black to me represents, or what it does is it unites or combines or draws in energy. So since that's the case, I use that fifth element of love or mineral or akasha for something black. Because it combines and unites all the other elements, which is what love does. So again, we're talking about spiritual concepts. We're talking about your spiritual concepts, your magic, your power of creativity. I just want to give you all a little bit of something to utilize for your magic, for your power, for your creativity. Because again, I think sometimes we get caught up in thinking that we have to go spend hundreds of dollars to go set up all these spiritual things and these spiritual ideas and altars. You don't have to spend no money, or if you do spend money, it don't have to be very much at all. Most of these things are within your home anyway, in terms of your altar. But the fact of the matter is that your altar is simply a projection again of your internal self. So that's why there really is no right or wrong, because it is a projection of who you are internally. So again, when you set up your altar using these 5 elements, it is whatever it is that you see as a representation of these elements. But understand and realize that they are first within you. It is your magic. It is your power. Peace.